Hi everyone, welcome back to Mike's Vinyl Experience. Thank you all so much for being with me here today. I appreciate each and every one of you so very, very much. Today, I'm so excited to share with you part 2 of my search for Audio Nirvana. My search to upgrade basically a set of speakers and an amp and preamplifier and maybe some other things that have really been in my system since the mid-1990s. My Bowers & Wilkins 802 Series 3 speakers, which you can see behind me, I've had since the mid-1990s. Fantastic speakers. They still sound great today. They're in absolutely excellent shape. I love the way that they sound, but I was so mesmerized by an upgrade to my turntable system, which I talked about in the first video, of how crazy good that sounded compared to my old one. I got thinking, gosh, it's time to update my system, and that's really what I've been trying to do. Because of your great comments and helping me and giving me suggestions and ideas and really advice in that last video, and I've got a link to that video in the description below. Thanks to you people for giving me great advice, suggestions, not only on speakers and equipment to listen to, but really in methods for going about the process. I want you to know how much I appreciate that very, very much. You guys have given me some incredibly great ideas, some incredibly wonderful speakers to listen to. Some I've been able to, some I haven't. But I tell you what, your input has been so valuable to me, and it has really shaped the process in which I am taking to update my audio system. I'm basically going to start with speakers. I'm going to update them first, then wait because of your guys' advice, at least a lot of you anyway, and holding off on an amp and a preamp to a little bit later date once we get the speakers and get used to them, and then go ahead and search for new electronics. And really, when you're searching for new electronics, I think this is the best way to do it because of your suggestions. I can bring home amplifiers and preamplifiers from local audio salons. A little bit difficult to do that with speakers. So I'm very excited for your input, and thank you so much for what you have helped me with throughout these past, well, it's really been a month since I posted the last video and that we talked about it, and I've kind of started down this path. I want to go ahead and update you and tell you what I've been doing. So as this process started about 6 to 8 weeks ago on upgrading my speakers and audio equipment, amplifier, preamp, and so forth, I really kind of focused my attention to my surrounding areas and the audio salons in the Salt Lake City area of Utah, which is near me. And I've had some wonderful times. I've listened to some incredible products, both speakers and electronics. But I really wanted to broaden my horizons a little bit and take a listen to some other brands that I didn't have available to me here local. And so I was able to go out of town on vacation a couple of different times and listen to some different products, which really has really been helpful to me in trying to pin down or at least narrow down my decision for some speakers through this whole process. And I tell you, the neatest thing about this whole process has been, at least for me, is I have met some incredible people, audio salon owners, audio salon representatives, and so forth, listening to them, their opinions, their advice, and of course their products. It's been an absolute wonderful, wonderful trip. I've learned so much in the past, 6 to 8 weeks. I'm just so grateful for the wonderful people that I've been dealing with. There's not a one of them that I have met that I have went to, even out of state. These dealerships and these people that are operating these dealerships are truly amazing. I've had such a wonderful time in meeting these people, listening to them, and just, of course, their products. It's been wonderful. And the other part about this process that I think has been absolutely wonderful is I have found a whole bunch of new sound, a whole bunch of new artists that are new to me, new music. It's been great. I hope to compile a list and I'm actually trying to still acquire some of the albums and music that I was able to get exposed to in listening to some of this new electronic and speakers. I tell you what, it's been great. My horizons have been broadened. I appreciate that so very, very much. I'm excited to share that with you as well. I'm going to do an upcoming video and kind of share that a little bit, probably the same time that I update you and tell you what speakers that I'm going to be going with once I'm able to make that decision. But first, let me just jump in and tell you what I've been listening to since my last video, and kind of give you an idea of where I'm at currently and what I'm thinking as I have narrowed this selection down. So here's what I've been listening to lately, and I tell you what, this first set of speakers I'm going to talk to you about, it's a set of speakers that I've heard the brand and you've heard the brand, but I've never really heard them before, never really considered them, not really for sure why, but I just never have. But the speakers that I actually was listening, going up to this audio salon to listen to some audio research, electronics, preamplifier, power amplifier, phono preamplifier, and so forth. But the speakers that I ended up listening to, along with the audio research electronics, was a pair of Wharfdale Eliason 4s. I hope I'm saying that right. The Eliason 4s. This is a $10,000 speaker. Fit and finish on these speakers are surprisingly excellent. I was quite mesmerized by the looks of the speakers initially, but then of course the sound quality coming out of them was actually wonderful. I thought, wow, these things sound really, really good. I was really shocked. They really, really do punch way above their asking price. But you have to consider they were being driven by some pretty awfully expensive audio research electronics. The reference 80, which you can see here in the picture as well. And then of course an audio research preamplifier. So they were being powered by some pretty awesome electronics, which was really cool. In one of my opportunities of going out of town, I had the opportunity to listen to a pair of FR30s. Now, they weren't even on my radar. They weren't even on my list, but I had the opportunity that they were there on display. So I spent about an hour and a half with the owner of the audio salon. His name is Greg. Wow, what a great guy. I had such a wonderful conversation. I probably spent 2.5, 3 hours at this audio salon alone, just talking and listening, mostly to the FR30s, and we did listen to the FR10s to the side of them there as well. But what a great opportunity to hear these speakers. These speakers are phenomenal. I was actually taken back by the quality of sound that these speakers produced. Big speakers. The FR30s are big. Man, I'm here to tell you what, they're big. I don't know how they would look in a small room like I have behind me here, but they're big. But boy, I tell you what, the sound is unbelievable. They're being powered by a whole stack of PS Audio electronics. PS Audio, I think, just, you know, they make great electronics and great speakers. I learned a lot about the FR series of speakers. They're made in China under very, very close watch and scrutiny by the folks at PS Audio, so that no corners are cut, that things are done as to design and made well. I walked around these speakers. They look fantastic. They sounded fantastic. You know, I think for their asking price, they're probably a really good value in speakers. Once again, I the only caveat that I had with them, or concern that I guess I should say that I had with them, is, boy, they're large in size. But, you know, a great set of speakers. Absolutely wonderful opportunity to listen to them and listen to some great music and meet a great guy. Another pair of speakers that I was able to listen to was the Sonus Faber Il Cremonese. Now, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but I was able to listen to these speakers, and they're fantastic. They're higher than what I'm interested in paying for speakers, but some of the other Sonus Faber speakers that I was hoping to listen to were not on display, and they didn't have them in the store, so I kind of wasn't able to listen to them. But I did listen to these, and man, I tell you what, they're incredible speakers. If you got that kind of cash to drop on them, they certainly should be on a short list. They sounded fantastic. I love them. Another set of speakers that I listened to was the Estalon Forza. I don't know if I'm saying that right either. Of course, not even close to anything that is in my price range, but it was an opportunity to listen to them, and I did. I thought they sounded absolutely fantastic. I also had an opportunity to listen to a pair of MBL 101E MK2 speakers. Here again, another speaker that's not even close to anything that I would be considering, but it was an honor to listen to them and kind of understand their philosophy of creating music the MBL way. And I really liked what I heard. I thought they sounded absolutely fantastic. It was a neat opportunity. I even listened to it the same places as the MBLs, a pair of the Burmester speakers, which the BC 150s, along with the entire Burmester equipment that you can see here, you know, totally way out of my price range, obviously, but it was a neat thing to listen to. Like the sound, they're really neat. The craftsmanship on the speakers, of course, their electronics is literally unbelievable. It needs to be seen to behold for sure, and to be believed, because they are made and manufactured incredibly. It was a neat opportunity to not only listen to them, but just actually to see and to touch these types of speakers. That was really kind of a neat thing. So what I've not had the opportunity yet to hear was some of the speakers I had on my initial list, which was Borison. I've not been able to find anybody with Borison, you know, on hand where I could actually physically see them and listen to them. I wasn't actually able to listen to any, I wasn't able to listen to the Sonos Faber Serafino G2. I was not able to listen to the Focal Sapora or the Utopia speakers that I was hoping to listen to. I just haven't been able to find anybody in my travels out of state and so forth that carried those. And so I really am not really 100% sure if I'm going to pursue trying to find those speakers to listen to. I was hoping that I would be able to find them in my travels, but have yet to do so. Like I said, in the ones that I've just described, I've listened to some great speakers, and it's really kind of given me a good background to hopefully make some educated decisions when that time comes. So really what I want to kind of share with you is kind of what I'm narrowing my selection down to, or at least this is what I'm thinking today. I really would very much appreciate your comments, your thoughts, your suggestions, and so forth, as you've done before. I just can't tell you how helpful that has been for me. I mean, my process now is to purchase a set of speakers, wait on electronics until I can get the speakers broke in, get happy with them, get them positioned in my room, maybe even at that point before electronics, do some room treatment. One of the things that I do want to try and do is upgrade my power conditioning, and maybe even a phono preamp before I get into the amplifier and preamplifier. That's what I'm kind of thinking, but really, thanks to you, I'm going to be purchasing speakers first. And so that's going to be the first purchase that I do. Then I think everything else will kind of fall after that, and I'll keep you in the loop on how we do that, and just kind of keep you updated on that. But really, here's what I've kind of narrowed my choices down to as of today. So being a Bowers & Wilkins owner, I've got the set behind me, the 803 Series 2, Matrix Series 803 Series 2. Then I have a pair of CM5s that I used as a surround sounds in this very room. So I'm accustomed to B&W speakers, Bowers & Wilkins speakers. I think they sound great. I've been listening to the 803s pretty intently, the 804s, and as well as the 805s. And really the 805s, I've been listening to them thinking, well, gosh, maybe I could pair them with a pair of, with a rail subwoofer or something of that nature. Of course, the 804s are a little bit better in the bottom end, and the 803s even go a little bit deeper into that bottom end. The 803s have a much different presentation in the mid-range than the 804s and 805s. But really, what I am really coming back to is probably the Bowers & Wilkins 803 D4 the Wilson Sabrina X, and the Wilson Audio Watt Puppy. And let me tell you the reason why I'm coming back to those speakers. And I've been up and I probably listened to the Wilson speakers and the Bowers and Wilkins speakers probably at least 6 to 8 times in the past 2 months, trying to get my bearings straight on what I want to do. And I love the presentation of Bowers and Wilkins. I'm kind of used to their sound, even though the new series, the D4s, have a very different type of sound that I'm used to here. Good. They have a very nice bottom end, quite authoritative. It's quick. It's articulate. It really does sound nice. The mid-range and upper range of the Bowers and Wilkins is good. They might be a little brighter than I'm used to with mine, at least my initial impressions. Well, not initial. I've been listening to them for quite some time now. But really, the Wilson Audio Sabrina X has really been a speaker I kind of got focused on to begin with, and I've kind of been sticking with that speaker a little bit. The upper mid-range of the Wilson Audio speakers are just something very, very different that they are doing that I really, really like. I mean, honestly and truthfully, the bottom end on the Wilson speakers are great. I think they're phenomenal. They sound great. They really dig in deep and get low enough. They're quick, they're fast, they're articulate, very much like the Bowers and Wilkins in that bottom end. But the Wilson speakers, and I have to include the Watt Puppy, even though that's a little bit different animal than the Sabrina X. The Wilson speakers mid-range, from the mid-range up, maybe 60 to 70 hertz and above, there's something going on there that is really enticing to me. And I don't know if it's because I've listened to Wilson speakers, never owned them, but I've listened to Wilson speakers back when I was going to audio shows in the late 80s, 90s, and 2000s and so forth, listening to all the variations of the Watt Puppies and their other speakers. And maybe I've grown accustomed through them. You know, I've always been impressed with them. But boy, listening to the Sabrina X's and the Wilson Watt Puppy 50th anniversary, that area, that mid-range and on up, there's just something special going on there that just mesmerizes me, and I keep coming back to. I keep taking different music up to listen to. I've even taken some classical up, which is crazy. I'm not a really big classical guy, but just so that I can get a basis and a background of what these speakers do with all sorts of music that I could and do listen to. Classical on occasion, but you know, classic rock and jazz all the time. I'm listening to that type of music, and so I've just been trying to figure out what it is that I like about these speakers, and it's that mid-range on up. And I tell you another thing that they do that I've just been so crazy impressed with: depth of stage and expansion of the walls. Imaging has been phenomenal with Wilson speakers, and I've had them as far apart as 15 to 16 feet. I've had them as narrow in as maybe 8 to 9 feet, similar to what I would have a set of speakers in my room, so that I can kind of get an idea. Is it because of the placement of the speakers, why I'm thinking that these speakers are going beyond the side walls and beyond the back walls? What is it? So I've had them moved in a little bit. They've been so great to work with me on that and help me. But I'll be honest with you, when I get them back to that close, they just got better. The imaging, the depth of stage, when I had them close in, as you see here, I really felt that they just go beyond they go beyond the walls, they go beyond the back wall, and that mid-range. There's just something about hearing a female and a male voice through these speakers. Tonal accuracy is one of the things that I am kind of a fanatic about and hope to achieve. And so I think, and I told you this before, the accuracy and the sound of a piano is important to me. I just keep coming back to the Sabrina X and the Watt Puppies in this respect. And I hate to say it, but I don't know exactly where I'm going to go, but I think I'm going to focus on Wilson right now. I still have the Bowers and Wilkins right in the back. Bowers and Wilkins on price, you know, they'll fudge a little bit. They can get you a little bit better deal than list price. Wilson, not so much, which is a problem. At least it is for me. And the differences between the Sabrina X's and the Watt Puppies, I just wish it wasn't such a big difference. But to me, in listening to them side by side and just going back in different times with different music, different speaker placements, there's just something right going on with that mid-range. And I think the Wilson Watt Puppies 50th anniversary, they're phenomenal speakers, more than I want to spend on a set of speakers. The Sabrina X probably has 85%, maybe 80%, maybe 75%, I'm not sure, of what the Wilson Audio Watt Puppies are doing. The Sabrina X is a great speaker. I could not go wrong with that speaker. I know that for a fact. And in this size of room, I think they'd be wonderful. But I'm just kind of wavering. That's kind of where I'm at right now. So I'm kind of leaving in there as just at the very tail end, the Bowers and Wilkins 803D4, the Sabrina X, Wilson Sabrina X, and the Wilson Audio Watt Puppy 50th anniversary. I kind of got it down to those three. That's where I'm at. Please let me know what you're thinking. Please let me know what your thoughts are. I'm so excited to hopefully soon make a decision and at least put a deposit down. If I go with a set of Wilson speakers, it's going to be around 3 months with either one of them. It's going to be a while before I will get them. I have to put a deposit down and whatnot. But because I live fairly close, another great possibility is I would be able to go down to where they're manufactured in Provo, Utah, and actually, you know, see them once, you know, probably one opportunity, maybe twice, and kind of watch them as they're being made, which would be a unique opportunity if it's actually possible. But that's where I'm at right now. I've had the opportunity to listen to these speakers on tons of different electronics, so that I can, you know, hey, is it just because they're on Dan D'Agostino amplification they sound this great? Well, I've listened to them on those. I've listened to them on Michi's. By the way, Michi, the upper line of Rotel, great equipment, really great equipment. I've had a chance to listen to them on that. I've had a chance to listen to them on Macintosh. And you know what? They sound great. They really just sound great. That's where I'm at. Please leave your comments in the comment section below. I want to hear from you. Thank you so much for your help, for your suggestions. Once again, it's because of you that I'm doing the process that I'm doing. Speakers first, amplification after. Thank you so much for watching today. Please leave your comments in the comment section below. If you like what you see, please go ahead and subscribe. Thank you and have a great day.